Hello, and welcome to Masterful Chats. I'm Rebecca Lovett. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Masterful Chats are short, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, inspire, and empower you as you move forward on your spiritual path and in your life journey. And today's chat is about the hand-me-downs of boxes of belief and filters of perception that we're all given as we are raised in our families, our communities, and our societies. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an information synthesizer, a mystical scholar, and an intuitive. And I believe with my whole heart and entire being that we are each a beloved child of God. We are all loved individually, completely, totally, and beyond measure. Please stay till the end of the video where I will offer you a spiritual tool or tip to move through the world with more ease and grace and peace. And so now let's talk about boxes of belief and filters of perception. Up until the time a child is approximately 7 years old, it is in those ages that we are the most malleable and the most open and the most susceptible to programming. We're like sponges when we're young. And this is where boxes of belief and filters of perception begin to take hold within our psyche and our worldview and how we interact with the world. Boxes of belief can be from numerous sources. It can be a family unit that we associate with these types of people or those types of people. We don't associate with them. We may grow up in very isolated environments where we don't interact with people of different socioeconomic classes or different skin color. We may be in a very homogeneous religious community where daily life is dictated by rituals and processes and a complete way of being and living. And often it isn't until we move or later in life, for example, if we've been homeschooled and we go to college, that we begin to realize the variety of different people and ways of being and ways of living in the world. None of this is good or bad. Nature is very diverse and humanity is very diverse. But it can be a shock when we've been raised to think the world is like our life, to find out that, well, part of it is, but there's a huge portion out there that is very, very different from our world. Whether it's the clothes we wear, the food we eat, our religious rituals, our social rituals, educational systems, it can be very, very different and it can be disconcerting. But many people in the world have very, very rigid beliefs given to them by a parent, a religious figure, a teacher that they respected. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that quite often we take on these beliefs and we've never questioned them. We've never thought about, well, this person who taught me this or told me this, what was their background? What was their agenda? How did they get to be the person that they were or that they are today? And most of this is done with very, very high and good intentions. It's to make us safe in the world. It's to give us a roadmap. It helps us to belong. We have a community. But quite often, these boxes of belief and filters of perception are not who we are. And if a person has not been awake and aware, they've never really taken a deep breath, stood back, and analyzed these boxes of belief. They just put them on like a well-worn sweater and say, "This is me." And quite often that will work for a long, long time until it doesn't. And many boxes of beliefs right now are being challenged in the world. The idea that nature is one way or the other. The idea that it's my way or the highway. The idea that what you're doing is unacceptable to me. I'm uncomfortable, so I'm going to say that you can't do that. Well, with this ascension, we're all here to experience ourselves, to find out about ourselves, evolve into a new way of being. And to do that while respecting the other. Everyone is entitled to their way of living and being as long as it does not physically harm another human being. There are appropriate boundaries. Violence and abuse are never okay. If your boxes of belief have been rattled a little bit, if the world is not looking exactly like the mirror image of your life or your perceptions that you grew up with, bring the word curious to your attention and say, well, why is that? Is this really from my personal experience? Is this something that I have gone through on my own? Or is it something that someone handed to you? That's why I call them hand-me-downs. We've all been given hand-me-downs. And if we see the world as a frightening, scary place where people are out to get us and harm us, it's very, very difficult to be curious. With the ascension in full swing, it's important to look at our lives and ask where we have given away our power, where we have accepted belief systems and ways of being given to us by others without question. We're all here to discover ourselves for who we truly are, and that is fully Christed beings, sovereign, whole, and complete. The drive for empowerment and sovereignty is being illuminated by where we are not in our power, by where we feel afraid. But the energies of the ascension and the ascension are moving forward. And rigid box of beliefs are going to be questioned and are going to be rattled. And that is one reason that we are seeing so much chaos in the world, where individuals, systems, governments are telling people, you have to be this way or the other. I will not allow this behavior. Well, with the ascension, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, with Saturn moving into Pisces, I would say good luck with that one. Things are going to change. It won't be overnight, but they are going to change. They're moving toward more wholeness and integration, toward more compassion and acceptance. And what we're experiencing right now is just a huge blowback. But that's really how humanity works, isn't it? 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And while a lot of people are waking up as if they've been in a very, very deep sleep, they are fearful and they are reactive. The key to the ascension and to the awakening process is that we each come into our own power from within and not from outside external forces. We are Christed beings, and we do not gain power from outside people, institutions, governments, or companies, political parties. It may feel that we do. We may have a sense of tribalism and our team, but in reality, power, true power, only comes from within. True power, there's plenty for everyone, and does not infringe on anyone else's way of being. In fact, it allows a person to move through the world with tremendous ease and grace, because regardless of what another person says or does, it doesn't offend you, it doesn't upset you. You realize that they are entitled to their opinion. That doesn't mean that you like it, but if you can stay neutral and discerning and realize that that is that person's choice, then you're not putting your toe in the pond of polarity and 3D, where it's good, bad, right, wrong. It is important not to demonize and to allow others their path. Numerous new ways of being will be illuminated and expanded to include all of humanity, not just a specific group of people. And know that it'll all work itself out. Focus on your life, your world, your family, your community. Focus on the joy and the love in your life. And now, as promised, I'd like to offer you a spiritual tip. The word I mentioned earlier in the video is curious. Curious is a very expansive word, and it allows for new possibilities and new paths. Open-ended questions with a smile on your face can create a new way of being in the world and perhaps create a connection that will be very important to you. So be curious and see where it leads you. And you can do the same thing with you. If you have a strong reaction to something or someone, be curious. Say, well, that's interesting. And see if you can determine why you're reacting at that level. It's a wonderful word. It's an expansive word. And it can offer you new insights about yourself and the people in your life. And please leave a comment and let me know how it works out for you. And I'd appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. It'll really help the channel. And I wish to thank you for being here, chatting with me today. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Until we chat again, blessings.